Alright, so today we're going to do a brisket, possibly throw in a pork belly, maybe a few other things, I don't know. Fire's going, you might as well take advantage of it, right? So we got that big dinosaur tongue. It's a whole brisket, about 15 pounds right now. I think after we trim it down, we'll probably get it down closer to 11 or 12 pounds. So let's get the fire going. So one of the things I didn't mention in my walkthrough video of the Boathouse cooker, it doesn't actually fit in the garage without messing with the garage door. So something to keep in mind if you end up ordering this. Brian will ask you what size stack you want. I told him to stay with stock because I wasn't putting it in an enclosed trailer, but it doesn't fit in the garage. So now it will. So we pull the old lever, pull back the door some. Now it'll just barely fit under there, but now we can get it in and out. So just something to keep in mind. You may have to alter your smokestack size depending on your garage or home. All right, so we got the cooker in place. I like to put it on the grass because when the food drips, it doesn't make a huge stain on the driveway. So what do we got to do next?
I don't know.
You don't know. Riley doesn't know. Don't be confused. She was not in the last video. This is her twin sister. So we got to build the fire.
Yeah.
So when I did the walkthrough video, you know, I kind of complained. I don't want to say complain, but about how I was using the chimney in the firebox. So
Chimney?
I've opted to just shoving it in there, letting the coals fly in there. So let's get our fire started. The brisket's been out for about 45 minutes. We're gonna try and let that warm up a little bit. So it's gonna take another 45 minutes for the cooker to come up to temp. So it's not gonna be too room temperature, but at least it's gonna be closer than what it was. Not cold right out of the fridge. So let's get the fire going. Go ahead, light the starter. Nope, the starter, it's in the middle. It's the thing in the middle. No, in the middle. There you go. Get the starter going. Hold it there for a second. Hold it there again. Closer, closer. There you go. All right, so Riley got the fire started, right? It was you. All right, so while the chimney's coming up, we're gonna go inside. We're gonna trim up the brisket. I'm not gonna film that because there's hundreds of videos on how to trim a brisket, and I get bored when people do that and waste 10 minutes of your time. So we're just gonna go trim the brisket. Once that's ready, we're gonna season it. We're just doing Texas style. We're just gonna do black pepper, salt. We may throw some Lawrys on it. I don't know yet. But we'll come back when we're done with that. All right, so we got the brisket good and trimmed up. Scalped it in a few spots, but there's some real hard fat in a couple of these spots, so we didn't want it. So we got it nice and trimmed up. Want to lift that bag, Riley? How heavy is that bag?
Really heavy.
Really heavy. So that is all of our trimming. So make sure you save that stuff. That is going to be, we're going to save that. We're going to grind it up and make burgers with that. Save your trims. It's probably a good 6 pounds of meat right there. All right, so the chimney's still going. We're almost ready. But until then, let's get a pan. All right, so we're going to grab I guess you call them a hotel pan. Just those aluminum, or some are stainless pans. One of these guys. Great investment. You can get them on Amazon for real cheap, or you can get them on a restaurant supply store.
Babies?
But we're gonna put the brisket in there, and that's what we'll put our rub on, so we don't make a huge mess. All right, so here's our seasoned brisket. Should build a really good crust. We will add pepper, kosher salt, diamond kosher salt, and then Lawrys seasoned salt. Top it off.
There's a snake in your boot.
And I don't know if I mentioned it, but we're using all oak wood today. So you can see my homemade cinder block and 2x4 wood storage rack here. So all oak wood. The one variable I have is I don't know how much this has been seasoned. I know it's been naturally seasoned, not kiln dried, but I just don't know for how long. So some of these may have some moisture in them, but that should be no problem. So this right here is why you see some people using leaf blowers and stuff, kind of speed this process up so you don't fill the whole neighborhood with smoke. But as you can see, our logs are catching. So we'll let this burn down for a while, create a bigger coal bed. And by that time, the pitch should be about where we want it. We're gonna aim for 250 to 275 for the first couple hours of this cook. All right, getting the brisket put on. We're gonna put it on the upper rack. To the right, we have the thick end facing towards the left because this is a reverse flow, so the heat should come from that way. So we're gonna put this sucker in there and let it go take a 4-hour nap. We got the next logs ready, warming up on the firebox. So we'll check in a little bit later. All right, we're coming up on 4 hours. Figured I'd just put some new logs on, so while I'm doing that, we'll go ahead and open it up. Give it a look. Probably take a spritz. Or give it a spritz. Looking good. Let's see. Not feeling too dry anywhere. Maybe a little bit right there. We did have a little bit of pooling right there, so I stopped the camera. Kind of need 2 hands to drain that, so now we're gonna give it a spritz. This is just water and Worcestershire sauce, just to help it from drying out. Back down. Go ahead and close this back down. All right. Well, that just happened. Was not expecting that. All right. That definitely was not a problem we were expecting, so we're still cooking. You got your chicken nuggets.
Yeah.
We're rolling with the nugs.
I having the chicken nuggets.
So now we got no firebox door. So, I mean, the cooker's still drawn just fine. We're just having to load it up with a little bit more wood now to hold the temp, because obviously there's no door to hold the temp in the firebox. But it is still pulling through. Still got a good draw. You can see. You can kind of see. Still got smoke coming through, airflow coming through.
Where's the chicken nuggets?
Let's see here. Still holding some good temps. We've consistently been in the 250 to 275 range, so that's what we were aiming for. So I guess if there's any, if there's any plus to not having the door on, it's pretty hard to make a dirty fire. It's been clean burning this whole time now. No struggles there, so we're still cooking. So we're almost to the 6-hour mark. So we'll go ahead and take a peek. Maybe we'll throw some more spritz on. Again, just some Worcestershire and water. Try and prevent it from drying out a little bit. All right, let's go back to cooking.
There's a snake in your boot.
Oh my. All right, coming up on hour 8. Let's take a look. We also put some burgers in there. They've been smoking for about 45 minutes. So we'll throw those on the griddle over there and sear those off. But let's have a look at the brisket. All right, it's looking good. Got great color, great crust. Feeling good. Let's go to temp. Still a lot to go. Yeah, we got a ways to go. All right, hour 8. Probably got about another 6 hours to go.
Dad, you want to send that to Chuck?
To Chuds? No, we'll put this in our brisket video. All right, burgers are all on. Say we'll see you in a little bit.
See you in a little bit. And this is Jocelyn. Bye.
Bye. All right, we're about 9 hours in. Probing around between 180 and 190. So now we're gonna do the foil boat, Leroy and Lewis style, and let this sucker go until it's ready. We also put on some pork belly. We're gonna make some pork belly burn ends. All right, brisket is about 11 and a half hours in. At 12 hours, we're gonna pull it. It's feeling pretty good, which means we get to use our new toy here.
And Daddy.
Get the food warmer.
Daddy.
What's up?
It's like 40.
Yep, we want that to be.
3%.
We want that to be about 140. So this is gonna be the secret weapon right here. We're gonna put it in here. It's gonna sit here all night. That's kind of the barbecue restaurant secret that they don't tell you about. Let them suckers rest for 12 hours.
Is that perfect?
Is that how you want it? I think maybe you should get it flipped over. I think that other side will burn better.
Okay. I just need to flip it like a Krabby Patty.
Like a Krabby Patty.
Yeah, like SpongeBob.
There you go. That's how you want it. Now push it in.
Like
Nice job.
like
Nice job, kiddo. There you
like
go.
SpongeBob.
You're a real deal pit master.
I'm like SpongeBob.
You want to open up the door?
You want this?
Yep.
But it's not even on it.
Other side. It's going to be warm. Actually, just leave it. All right, so brisket went for how long? 12 hours?
I think so.
Yeah, it was 12 hours. It was feeling really good. We were going to 12 hours no matter what, so I don't even know what the temp was. But it's now going to sit in the food warmer. We have it set for, I don't know if you can even see it. You won't be able to see it. Maybe you can. Set for 140, 145. It's going to run
Nice and toasty.
nice and toasty. So, as far as tonight goes, it's about 10 o'clock. We are done with the brisket for tonight. It's going to sit in the warmer all night. And then we will take it out about 8 a.m.
And eat it.
No, we got to take it. We're slicing it up for some people. So we got about an hour drive. So about 9 o'clock we'll be slicing into it. So
Gobble, gobble, gobble.
that's right. So we'll be back tomorrow when we're cutting this sucker up. Until, for now, we're going to keep focusing on our pork belly now. We got about an hour left, and then we're going to cube it up and get it all saucy and back on the grill.
There's a snake in your butthole.
My butthole?
Bye. Yeah, in your butthole.
Bye!
Bye.
All right, here we are. Pork belly burn ends. We got the brisket we're about to cut into. We got some cowboy candy, some pickles.
In the king.
We got my helpers.
No, Now
All right, we're gonna slice into the brisket here.
Now
So unfortunately, I did not get any video or pictures of the sliced brisket. You know, just doing this with with my phone, so I didn't have a little tripod or nothing, and I had gloves on and hands full of brisket juice and barbecue sauce. So we'll just wrap the video up here on my drive home from work. So overall, the cook went fairly well. Obviously, until the door fell off, that really changed things. And really the change was just the wood consumption. I still maintained 250 to 275 just as I wanted to. It just required 3 times the amount of fuel. So before, with the door on, and I could close the door and regulate the temp with the ball valves, you know, with a decent coal bed, throwing in a split here and there, I was maintaining my 275 with ease. Without the door, I was basically having to keep myself a decent little sized fire going at all times, 3 to 4 splits at a time, every 30, 35 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever. So obviously the door coming off made a huge change, but we're gonna get it fixed. We got a master millwright fabricator at work that he already looked at it, or the pictures of it, said he can fix it. So I'm not too worried about that. Food turned out amazing. I can't really say the temp that I pulled the brisket off. I was kind of doing it the way I seen it done in Jerby Barbecue's video. You know, we hit 12 hours, it came off. It didn't matter what the temp was, as long as it felt good and the fat was rendered, which it was, we were pulling it. And that's exactly what we did. 12-hour mark hit, we put it in the food warmer. The food warmer was ranging in the 140 to 150 range. So it sat there all the way till roughly 9 a.m. before we took it into work. So, and the food warmer, we picked that up on Craigslist. We're gonna be putting that into a barbecue trailer coming here soon. So that is definitely a huge plus if you have the food warmer, because your timing of making your barbecue changes dramatically. Instead of being up all night and early into the morning, I was able to cook it during the day and the evening, throw it in the warmer, and it was ready to go when I wanted it. Same thing with the pork belly burnt ends I made. Those I did overcook slightly, so we had to sacrifice some pieces of the pork belly. I got wrapped up in watching Texas versus Arkansas, college football junkie here, so I got a little caught up from that. So my pork belly in some spots got a little crispy. So cut off the burnt, I don't want to say burnt, just the crispy spots. We cut that off, so we didn't serve that to the guys. But that turned out great too. We cooked that for 4 hours. The 4-hour mark, took it off, cubed it up. I took some sauce, barbecue sauce, tossed them in the barbecue sauce. We threw some maple syrup in there, tossed it in that, added a little bit more rub. Put it back on the cooker. By this point, the fire was going down. I didn't add any more wood. So the temp was only like 2 to 225. It probably sat in there for another 30 to 40 minutes just to let that sauce kind of tack up on the meat. And then same thing, we pulled that and it sat in the food warmer all the way until the same time we pulled the brisket. So everything turned out amazing. The cook went well. Obviously the door coming off changed things, but we were still drawing just fine and keeping our temps. All right, so until next time, take it easy. We're gonna get that door fixed. We'll figure out what we're gonna cook in the future. Probably do some ribs or maybe turkey breast or something. But any questions, hit me up below about anything I've used or the cooker or anything. But yeah, like, subscribe. We'll catch you next time. All right, thank you guys.